Hello everybody, Tyler here with TCG University for the card game My Hero Academia, and today I'm going to be doing a Nomu deck profile. This was requested by one of our viewers, and I thought I would oblige. This was something that I just sort of threw together fairly quickly, so there are definitely things that you could add to it if you see fit. Especially because this does not have set 2 stuff. It doesn't have anything from Crimson Rampage. Only the first set of My Hero. So I'm sure things like Bakugo 2 Dot has added some stuff to this or some other characters. But yeah, this can definitely be improved upon, I am sure. But as a starting off point, I think it is pretty alright. So let's hop right into it. First off, this is under Death. And a quick overview of what Nomu does is that he can commit a foundation and reduce this attack's damage to 6, meaning that you have to hit him 6 times minimum to kill him. And then he gives your non-throw attack damage equal to its difficulty. So he hits really hard and he doesn't get hit very hard. And with that, we're going to start with the actions. Right off, just 3 plus Ultra. This is fairly straightforward. I think this is one of the best cards in the game right now. You should have 4 of it. It could definitely run 4. I'm just putting 3 in it because that's a nice round even number, even though it's odd. This card under Nomu is great because Nomu is very, very scary when he gets to block. That is one of the things that maybe people don't realize is that if Nomu can block, it is really hard to deal 35 damage, especially when you can only deal 6 damage at a time. And then when you do 0 damage at a time, it really becomes quite difficult. So being able to just automatically block things is great. And along with that, 4 Evil Gaze. So being able to slow down your opponent by destroying their foundations or reduce speed and then destroying a foundation so that you can block, or giving more speed to your attacks to get plus 5 damage on them is very, very good. It also is Breaker. Great card to have at a 4 of. And that's all of our actions and assets. Next, we're going to move on to attacks. So the main attack that I sort of like to focus on is Long-Lasting Explosion at a 4 of. So what is really, really great about this card is, one, it's a 5 mid for 6, which are crazy stats. And then it gets plus 5 damage with Nomu. And the really good thing about this is that it says that your next high attack gets plus 3 speed. And that is crazy in a character that gives every attack plus 5 damage pretty much. So that's the main thing that is going to be going on, is that you're going to play this, give your next attack plus 3 speed, and then it's going to get plus 5 damage after you play it. There's only one other card that's a mid, and so you don't really have to really worry about giving that more damage because you definitely don't need it. Just giving the rest of your high attacks a bunch of speed is really good. Or if you have 2 of these, this giving 5 mid for 9, 5 mid for 14, still pretty good, especially since they had to block the first one since it was 11 damage. Pretty crazy. Next, as I was saying, with the high attacks, we're going to play for Merciless Rush. This is great because it's actually a 4 diff in Nomu, because your opponent is probably not playing a 5-hander. They're probably playing a 6 or a 7-hander, which means this gets -1 difficulty. And then it gets 3 speed off of Long-Lasting Explosion, and then it gets 5 damage off to him. And if they block it, or if they completely block it, they have to destroy a foundation, which is great with the Evil Gaze. Being able to destroy extra foundations to make sure that your opponent can't block your stuff is really, really good. It also has EX2, which is a great momentum dump for a 4 difficulty attack. And 1 level block. Pretty alright. Great under Nomu. Makes them want to block it. Also great under Nomu is for Turn to Dust. This is just like Merciless Rush. It is a high attack with 4 speed, 5 damage. So stats are all the same, except for this thing has Stun 2 along with the EX2, along with the ability to destroy a foundation potentially, or burn them, along with the ability to destroy a foundation or burn them. So it has 2 times where you can destroy, where your opponent gets to pick whether or not they're going to be destroying a foundation, and if not, they're burning themselves, which is great under you because all your attacks deal 1,000,000 damage. So the little bit of burn can like really push it over the edge and make it so that you kill them that much sooner. And then I have 4 float combo. So this is crazy because it is a 6 speed base, 6 high attack with plus 3 speed from your long lasting explosion. A 9 high for 9 is really, really good. And if your opponent is dumb enough to not have any cards in their hand to block, you can play this after a high attack, switch its speed and damage right away, and then make this thing a 4 high for 11 automatically without any bonuses. If you have long lasting before it, that's still great because it's a 6 high for 6. It's a 4 high for 9 plus another 5 damage. So 4 high for 14. And if they have no cards in their hand, they're just dead. Also, this thing guarantees deals 1 damage and goes zero momentum for like things like EX on these other 2 attacks, or things like the flip ability on Naval Laser Beam. This card is very crazy under death. It is probably slept on a little bit. This card allows you to flip over foundations that we're going to be showing later. But besides that, it gives itself 2 speed and 2 damage, which I think is just good enough. It's a 5 mid for 6. It's a 5 mid for 8 base stats pretty much, as long as you have 2 unflipped foundations. And then it also has Breaker 2, which again, Nomu that can block stuff is really scary. And then Nomu that can block stuff and then Breaker to you is also very scary because then he gets to kill you when you have to commit out to try to chunk through that 35 vitality because he's dealing a lot of damage to you. This is a very slept on card. It could honestly be put up more. This could be a 4 of if you like really want to be able to play a little bit more defensively. Because this says that all your foundations that flip themselves over to do crazy stuff get to be unflipped. And that's really, really strong. And we're going to go into that right now with the first card is going to be 4 Super Regeneration. This card says flip, gain 3 vitality after you've taken damage. That's like really spectacular, especially when you have 2 of them out. Flip, gain 6 is really good, especially when you can guarantee that you only take 6. Flip 2 foundations, take 0 damage. Kind of crazy when you have 35 vitality. Or half block something, take 3 damage, 4 damage, flip, gain 6 vitality. They hit you for minus 2 damage. That's really, really good. Also pretty nice to build. And then for Apathetic. Also a great card to unflip with the Naval Laser Beam. Being able to selectively flip over one of your opponent's foundations is really, really good. Your opponent, like the fact that you get to pick with this card says that like the 1 or 2 things that like really matter in the game right now, foundation wise, get shut off immediately. This card is a very, very strong, very good to have as a 4 of. Very good to unflip 2 of them just to unflip your opponent's board. For Glamorous, this along with Naval Laser Beam is good. This card's a little bit less powerful because you don't want to see it turn 1. You want to see it like turn 3 or 4 after you've flipped a few Apathetics or flipped a few Super Regenerations. But if your opponent reduces the speed of your attack because you gave it 5 damage and they really want to block it, you can flip this to give it plus 3 speed. So it's not the worst thing to have out on board, but you definitely want to see it after you flipped a few foundations over. Excuse me. Next, we have 4 Latent Skill. You're a 5-hander, so flip, discard 2 foundations, draw 2 cards. Hopefully, their attacks is really good. It's also a 2 high block, which is pretty all right. Yeah, this is just to make sure that like your 5 hand size doesn't like automatically neuter you. It's just replace 2 cards in your hand to hopefully get more attacks. Because being a 5-hander is like that's your weakest stuff. We're playing 4 First Day of Class. Really good when you have 5 difficulty attacks. Like all these attacks are 5 difficulty besides the Merciless Rush, but that is only technically a 4 difficulty. Unless your opponent is also playing a 5-hander, then it is a 5 difficulty attack. This says that it's actually a 4 difficulty attack because it makes it 6 minus 2. And if anything, you can commit this with Nomu's ability and then flip it over. So you get to reduce the damage of an attack down to 6 one more time in a turn, making your survivability just that little bit longer. And then we are playing 4 Arrogant Disposition. This is in here because it is a 1 difficulty and it is a 6 check, which is crazy. There are not that many 6 difficulty or 6 check foundations in the game right now. 2 low block is also pretty good. And if you face the good symbol, this card like really shits on it. -3 speed to a punch attack is like crazy when you want to block it. Like this shuts down a lot of good decks because they're running a punch engine, and this says that like doesn't work. This just shuts that down. Not completely, but definitely enough to matter. And like I was saying earlier, we were playing 4 Mediator because a Nomu that can block stuff is really crazy. This, after you've blocked with a plus ultra or played an evil gaze to destroy one of their foundations after you're blocking, and then you get to destroy this for -3 speed and draw a card. Sometimes just -3 speed is going to be good enough. Like that might make it so that you can survive and then backswing and kill them. Yeah, and it's also spam. Really good. Then we are playing 2 Night Watch. You were playing 5 actions, or sorry, you were playing 7 actions in this deck. So this card definitely becomes live pretty quickly. You are not playing 60 cards, so it becomes live a little bit quicker. And being able to cancel stuff is really good right now. There are not that many enhances in the game currently that are like so important that there are a few, right, that are like so important that they really change the game. And this being able to like cancel it is really good. Canceling like a draw 2 or a give this thing a million speed is great against Nomu, with Nomu. And then lastly, we are playing to Someone with Style. This is to just keep yourself out of deadlock. You don't want to be in deadlock. Deadlock like kills. That's pretty obvious. But this being able to destroy a foundation to ready itself does just that. And then if they happen to stun you, you can flip or you can destroy it and reduce the stun attack to 0 speed, making it very easy for you to block and keep that 35 vitality as high as possible. And there we have it. That is the Nomu deck that was requested. Again, it was sort of cobbled together fairly quickly. I think all the stuff in there is solid, but if you want to change some stuff around, totally go for it. It is, I think, an all right place to start. But with that, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It shows YouTube that this is content that other people might like to see. And with that, again, thank you for watching, and bye-bye.